Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the World Championship Series, Europe Premier League, season number 3, the final season of the entire year. And this is where it really counts. This is where all the points really matter. On one hand, we have a guy who is already qualified for BlizzCon and has his spot there as our previous champion of WCS Europe. But on the other hand, we have Snoot, who can make it, and he is looking to solidify a position over at BlizzCon.
That is right. Everything today and for the rest of this season in the round of 32 is all about the points. Who's going to BlizzCon, who's not.
All right, so without further ado, we can actually take a look at how the entire season is going to be shaping up. We have 32 players battling it out for those top spots in this season.
That's right. $130,000 are on the line this season, which I think for some of us, I think we forget about that a little bit at the time. $130,000 shared across these 32 players. And of course, the most important part, 10,000 WCS points. But which player is going to make it through? There are groups, as you can see, underneath the groups are the dates and the times for each one to be played out. This is the beginning of a long road here in Season 3, going to be spread across 2 months to find out who is going to be the champion of Europe and who is making it to BlizzCon and who isn't.
Yeah, some really, really good groups there. Again, as you said before, don't forget those times at the very bottom of those groups. 6 p.m. each day to tune into all your favorite groups. But now let's focus on today. We have quite the stellar group to start things off here in Group A. And why don't we kick things off with our first player, who is currently our Season 2 champion, looking to repeat prior success on his hunt for more glory. It's StarDust.
StarDust, the reigning champion, will play and open up the WCS Europe Premier League. The very first game, it will be his honor to bring the StarCraft action to you. He's a fantastic player, a dangerous player. He's been very, very consistent over the last year or two with his rise to the top within StarCraft 2. A massive Protoss lead in Europe, and I'm sure he's looking at nothing short than the top 2 finish.
And then we have a fabled foreign hope sitting just on the perimeter of the BlizzCon qualification process, and he's so hungry to prove his worth. It's Snoot.
Top 16 go to BlizzCon. He's number 17. Today is, I think we can all say, is one of the most important days of Snoot's career so far. A loss today would absolutely jeopardize his run to BlizzCon. It would ruin everything. It would mean that he'd have to win and perform extremely well in every other external tournament. He needs to do well today. This is his day.
And then next up, we have a guy who's had mixed success in Europe, I would say, since moving here at the very start of the year, playing very actively in the local scene nowadays. It's Patience.
It is Patience, who made his name at DreamHack Winter 2013. But since that date, when he won a lot of fans, he's had some good results. You know, he got top 6 at DreamHack Summer most recently. He's been performing well here and there, but he's really struggling with consistency. He joined us last season in the round of 32 and was eliminated in last place. You know, and it's a bit of a shock, I think, to the system, for not just him, but for a lot of Patience fans as well. Today's another day that he can prove himself.
And finally, one would argue the challenger of this group, really quiet during 2013, I would say, but in 2014, he's quietly rising up the ranks. It's Miniraser.
Yeah, definitely a rising star within the European scene, but today, I think that he's going to be a little bit outshone because of if we see all the other players in today's group. Miniraser definitely, if he was in a different group, could even advance through. Today will be difficult. He's facing off the reigning champion, the best non-Korean, and Patience, who is able to beat anybody on a good day. A difficult start for Miniraser in this season, but it is, of course, his second time within the Premier League.
All right, so those are our 4 players. Now let's just take a look at how exactly things are going to be shaping up today in a little bit, because as always, we have a system of the brackets that you know, is true, tried, and tested at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the way that we're going to play it out is StarDust will be opening up the first game against Miniraser, and then we'll be going into the Snoot and Patience game shortly after. So 2 great games. I know a lot of you are waiting for that Snoot and Patience game, but I talked to you a little bit earlier on, and I think this is the gladiator, the king of the throne, whatever it is, coming to show us what he's capable of in a game against Miniraser, and also a bit of a teaser for what we could potentially see if Snoot was to play against StarDust later today.
Yeah, certainly. That's a very, very good point, because really that's the highlight that everyone is looking forward to in this group, something that has a very high likelihood of actually happening during this. But we're going to be jumping into Miniraser versus StarDust in just a little bit. As you can see, guys, here, this is the brackets and how things are just going to be shaping up today.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, StarDust will kick us off. We'll be going into Patient Snoop straight away after. Winners will play off against each other as our fourth game. Remember that the way that the format works now, it's not the third game, which is the more traditional way. We'll be going into the low bracket is our third, then to the fourth game, and then to the fifth game, the final decider to see who will advance through in second place to join the winner of that very first game. We are moments away from starting the first day of the WCS Europe Premier League. We have a lot of action coming over the next couple of weeks. I'm very excited to kick this one off.
So am I. Again, we actually said in Season 2 that we thought it was going to be the best season ever, but with the lineup that we actually have now in Season 3, this one's shaping up to be fantastic. And look at the opening group that we actually have. It's so good.
It's a fantastic group. We have 22 non-Koreans in the round of 32 here. We have 10 Koreans. Currently, we're winning. But for how much longer until the Koreans take over everything here? We'll find out, because there are a lot of good players looking to kick some butt this season.
Yeah, round of 16. We never know. Could be Korean dominated, but at the same time, as you said, a lot of good foreign hopes in there. You got people like Wellmu and Vortex looking for good positions during this season, as well as Snoot, of course, playing in just a little bit. But our first map is going to be King Sage on Station. We're going to get right into that for game number 1, as we have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner, current reigning WCS Europe champion. It is my insanity StarDust. And then up to the top left-hand corner, our blue Zerg. Representing Fnatic, it is Miniraser.
It wouldn't be right if the reigning champion didn't kick off the season. I always feel that, you know, it's a good way to open up the season. I think it's something that GSL has done for a long, long time. They always open up with the reigning champion. I mean, it's a great way to do things, but if he loses the first game, it's kind of like, oh no, he's gone already.
You're making me sad for Classic already.
Well, so we'll see. We'll see.
All right. So StarDust is actually sending his probe out very fast off the back of a pylon at the front. So we may even see an attempt at a cannon rush here against Miniraser.
Attempt of a cannon rush, yeah, definitely could. I mean, the more traditional way to play is usually for the Nexus first here, but definitely options are available here. He's going to get over there really early with his first probe, and so obviously force Miniraser into a spawn and pull first. I wonder which... well, the way that Miniraser is going to approach this series, more so than StarDust, I think StarDust is, you know, the more accomplished, the stronger player coming into this. What has Miniraser got up his sleeve? He's always had an aggressive tendency to his gameplay, so I wonder what he's got up in up his sleeve.
Well, he's already at least, StarDust has already at least seen the spawning pool after sending that probe over there. You know, you could, in theory, have sent that probe over there to actually kind of make that kind of happen, because, you know, you don't want to be risking an early hatchery with that probe being over there.
Right.
And he's going for a Nexus behind that, is StarDust, so
yeah,
job's a good one.
Yeah, so he'll be opening up with the Nexus first, then hopefully should be following up pretty fast with a Forge here to make sure that he doesn't get rushed by any Zerglings, hence the spawn and pull first here. But this is the first couple of moments of the game where we aren't really seeing what they have planned per se, because this is quite standardized. But yeah, I am very intrigued to see if StarDust is going to play his usually aggressive nature. Is he going to fall back to play a bit safer, more scouting-oriented, make sure he knows what Miniraser is up to at all points in the game so that he can kind of react a little bit more? And as long as he has the answer in time, he shouldn't really be getting surprised at any point, because I think that's going to be Miniraser's key strength in this group. Surprise.
Yeah, I think so, especially with the lack of games really on the higher stage compared to people like StarDust and Snoot, those kinds of guys. They're very well studied. Even Patience, for example, during this group, technically the Zergs have something to look at because of what he did during the 41 series over in Switzerland, where he actually defeated Saxery in the final. So, you know, there is a lot of good material out there, just not on Miniraser.
Well, StarDust here is trying to delay this third for a little bit here. 2 Lings were built, but with only 2 Lings built, sometimes we see 4, which then 4 can either go to the Xel'Naga towers, try to track the probe, but with only 2 being built, they both have to concentrate on that pylon to get it down as fast as possible to be able to get that third hatchery in. But they've lost track of the probe, and StarDust is already hiding it in a very unique position here. That's not something you scout too often in that little crook there.
Yeah, it's very hard.
So this already could start to tell us what his potential plan is. it could be aggression from this very position.
Yeah, quite easily could be. There's
like
two
a gateway,
overlords.
like 4 gateways or something from here.
Yeah, he could happily do that.
And the Lings are looking and they're not finding it.
That's a little bit of a shame. They've checked a lot of places, but not in that location. So, bit scary for him. He has 2 overlords trying to check out the bases, so he's getting good intel so far as to what's going on, but he needs to be very careful.
Keeping his tracks on the cybernetics core there, and also the gases on the natural.
Yeah.
Both. If the cyber core is used actively with a chrono boost, then he knows that aggression could come. Depending on how late the geysers are as well, is also another indication to Miniraser. So.
That probe's still just sticking around, not doing too much. First Zealot's actually moving out through the middle of the map, and Stargate is going to be the choice.
But, I mean, Miniraser spots it, but then also you know that StarDust knows that too. And he's already chrono boosting into the cyber core straight away. So I'm pretty sure he's going to still be aggressive, because when you as a Zerg player see the Stargate, you're like, all right, cool, drone. Because he's going to be either going to an Oracle, the Phoenix play, maybe a fast third, somewhere along the lines. But that is not the case. Yeah. There's even a Stalker being built, which could, theoretically chase away the Overlord if it was still around. There's no gas has been taken. We should be seeing gateways come down soon. And StarDust has an option to be aggressive through that probe. Yeah, I mean, especially also with the Overlords, when you see a Stargate, you just think to yourself, well, I don't want my Overlords anywhere near anymore, because they might just die off to a Phoenix. So it's a really good block for any kind of vision. But that being said, a Ling was poking up. And if you think there's no Zergling speed that's been researched yet, with the gases, only just rising closer to those 100 Spore Crawls come in, he's been tricked. 5 gateways.
Wow. And that Zergling also didn't poke up the ramp to see it was being chrono boosted into a cybernetics core. So a little bit of...
the Zergling spots the probe and pylon.
Okay.
He spots the probe and pylon, but he's got 9 drones in production. He's building a lot of drones, but even if he now knows that there's a threat here, does he have enough? He's got the lair on the way.
And drones,
there's no Roach Warren, which means Zerglings are going to rule the game. With no Roach Warren and no Zergling speed, simply gateway units are very good here. This is potentially game-ending, and now you've got an Oracle to actually back that up as well.
Exactly.
Here comes the Roach Warren, but I feel it's too late. He's been tricked way too early in this game.
And like even the Oracle, like even if it's not doing harassment at the back, it's still pretty darn good in the straight-up fight against all these Zerglings that are going to be footing out.
Absolutely. That's so much energy, and you know that Oracles destroy Zerglings. Absolutely destroy them.
Look at these pylons just keep going. StarDust is that confident about this push.
StarDust, even though he's in a very good position to do well here, he's also got a fallback plan. He's got double geysers plus 1 attack starting as well. So he's got a good economy. He's going to have a lot of units, but he's also got all the fundamentals to transition from this.
This is very, very powerful. This creep was the saving grace of those Zerglings for just a little bit there, but now the third is going to be under siege, with Zerglings already popping there and dying off very quickly. The Oracle itself is just zoning out everything at that third.
You can't win with just Zerglings. He needs those roaches in the production tab out and fighting.
And then even by the time he actually gets them, there's going to be so many gateway units out here for StarDust. All he has to do is micro back with these Stalkers, make sure that the Lings don't get the wraparound initially there. And, well, little bit of lag.
Well, sticky situation for both, because I think as we can all see, StarDust in a very, very dominant position, and I don't think that's going to alter anytime soon. There is still an off chance, though. There are 6 roaches on the way here, but StarDust opening this one up with a trick into something that may not be dealt with properly. We'll see.
He played it smart. He's played it smart. Let's just jump straight back in, because these gateway units are still going to work on the Zerglings. And again, the third has to be evacuated.
It's a lot of Lings, though.
That is a lot of
Zergling speed
Lings.
seconds away from finishing.
It's a lot of Zealots at the same time. It depends on how the engagement goes. If you can get the wraparound on Stalkers, that would be quite nice. Use the Roaches on the Zealots, perhaps. But he's losing a lot of Queens at the front. That's not the best of starts.
Oracle needs to be fighting here.
Where is it? Okay, it's at the back, coming in once again. The Mothership Core didn't even die during all of that. That's still a lot of Zealots to be able to deal with.
Yeah, and at this point, as StarDust, you got a lot of gas. Start warping in Stalkers, because you got enough Zealots that are going to tank forever. And the Stalkers are going to do damage at the back. This is a difficult start here for Miniraser.
GG, game number 1 swiftly going in StarDust's favor.
Yeah.
A little bit of a trick.
Yeah, I mean, something as simple as the overly, overly eager overlords inside the base are like, I'm seeing everything. And then StarDust is like, yes, you are.
You are seeing everything.
You are seeing everything, and it's going exactly as you intend this to go. And then he pulls that little trick, and the game changes immediately. Good play from StarDust. Very good aggressive play from him. But as mentioned just now, a very difficult start for Miniraser. Game 1 of the day, bam, something like this happens.
Yeah, now going into the second game, it's going to be Overgrowth, a map that I would consider a lot of Protoss to feel very comfortable on as well. I mean, King Sejong Station's all right, but StarDust kind of just hop, skipped, and jumped over King Sejong Station anyway. So I don't know what Miniraser is going to be able to do.
To try to beat someone who's never been, who's never been eliminated lower than a top 8 within WCS.
Yeah.
His first season, StarDust, was top 8, where he lost to MC. Second season, he won it. For StarDust to even think about losing in today is pretty intense, especially considering that Miniraser, who's a very complete opposite, who's never been outside of the round of 32 in any tournament, Premier League, or big tournament in itself. So two massive different players here. But Miniraser, if he can keep composed and just kind of go back to his original plan, which I'm sure he would have prepared for here with having 2 big Protoss players in his group, still could make it.
Yeah, he could. So we're going to get on to game number 2 in just a second here, as Miniraser's still Terran and needs to switch his race in a minute. But again, StarDust has so much he could do. So much he could do on a map like this. Miniraser is going to have to account for everything. Yeah. And even if he accounts for everything with, say, Overlord positioning, it's like, well, are you fooling me again? What are you really doing here? It's not often that kind of play actually works. You don't see somebody throwing down a Stargate and then just kind of mind gaming someone from that position. But I mean,
it all came down, I'm pretty sure it all came down to that probe just not being spotted immediately.
Yeah,
then you
that's
think about
true.
the 2 Zerglings on the pylon to allow the probe to escape, to allow him to hide. And then the kind of strategy was formed for that. So very, I would feel, reactionary play from StarDust, seeing what he has in the game and what tools he has at his disposal to then execute into what he attempted there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we talk about a little bit of stats here with StarDust, who has one of the highest win rates in the WCS Europe Premier League, he's got an average of 85% win rate against Zerg players. He doesn't really lose to them very often. He's got a head-to-head in best of 3s, 4 series to 1 against Miniraser. All the numbers, all the stats are heavily, heavily in favor of StarDust winning this one. So Miniraser's definitely got work to do.
Yeah, that's true. StarDust, I mean, it's not even just in this matchup alone in WCS that he has the strong win ratio. He's just got ridiculous win ratios across the board. Technically, his versus Protoss is his weakest at like something like 66% in WCS, but still, that's really, really good. It's better than 50%. Yeah. So it's pretty darn good at the moment.
Yeah, StarDust should not be looking at anything lower than a top 2 finish today, which makes, for me at least, the group quite interesting with, Snoot in there who kind of has to get top 2, and then Patience who's very capable of getting that top 2. But then if you think about those are the 3 players who are capable of top 2, then, Miniraser's just kind of left out that circle of top 2 competitors. But that is the nature of the WCS. But one thing that we can also call is that magic happens in the WCS, and upsets do happen. We've seen it happen season after season after season. Bling, Harston, massive names going through, big names going out as well. MVP going down. We've seen other people lose. TLO's lost early. Snoot lost in the round of 16 last season. So
yeah, he did.
Anything is capable here.
All right, well, let's get into game number 2 now between Miniraser and StarDust as we head over to Overgrowth. As we have up to the top right, it is our red Protoss representing My Insanity. It's StarDust, currently 1 game up. And down to the bottom left, our blue Zergy representing Fnatic. It's Miniraser.
Before this weekend, actually, at Gamescom, I had my doubts a little bit around StarDust and his performances coming into this season. And the main reason for that is, a couple of weeks back, Gfinity lost in group stages to Muslim and Bunny. Bunny obviously won the whole tournament, so you can give him that one and say that maybe Bunny, could beat him again on a different day in a different tournament. But losing to Muslim, he's had quite a few online losses recently in online cups as well. And I was like, oh, StarDust. Because if you think back to last season when he won, he'd just come out living in the CJ house. Yeah. Right? He went there, he trained there. He studied, he learned, he came back, he conquered.
He observed a lot. Like, he watched them.
Right. And as a Protoss player, I think StarDust even said it in one of the games, is that it's not the race that you need to be the highest of mechanical skill player to pull off, but you need to be smart and think. And imagine, think about all the Naniwa days. Sure, Naniwa used to play a lot, but he also think about the game and study other players and bring their game and strategies and evolve them a little bit to the table. So that's the way that he played, but without having that backing coming into this season and the losses, I was a little bit worried. But back to the original point, is at Gamescom, he did play the ESET Masters, and he actually won it, and he got a $10,000 first place prize. So definitely reset up the confidence that I have in him.
Yeah, I would say so as well. His results were looking a little bit shaky. But then on the flip side of things, when you come to a guy like Miniraser, the last time he was in Premier, which was in Season 1, that was really the pinnacle of his success. he narrowly missed out on the round of 16. He actually went toe-to-toe with San, of all people, and was beaten 2-1. But that showed promise, a lot of promise. So we can't count him out just yet, because as you said, magic happens in these groups in the round of 32.
StarDust opening up here with quite a greedy build compared to what Miniraser's done, which is the spawn and pull first anyway. Whether he was expecting StarDust to potentially cannon rush here, to go for an early probe scout to block the hatchery, whatever it is. But StarDust has quite the better end of the builds here. Being able to go for the Nexus first, gateway, and then actually double pylons before even taking the assimilators too. So everything's kind of slowed down a little bit, but overall, his economy is going to be really fast and flowing. Just the tech side of things slowed down a little bit from StarDust here. But this is a good opener from him for sure. And this is going to boost him up nicely for the next part of the game.
Yes, it will. And Miniraser actually took the gas right after that probe left. So it's a little bit hidden. But one thing's for sure, he definitely wants gas to go into speed if he needs it later on, considering what actually happened in game number 1. So that's very, very important here for Miniraser.
Well, interesting is StarDust didn't see that the geyser was built here, so there potentially is options for aggression here. And that is what Miniraser could do. Imagine like a roach sling attack or something that maybe StarDust wasn't ready for. Of course, you do have the mothership core that should come out eventually for photon overcharge and things, but either he gets Zergling speed really fast, he sets himself up to go layer really fast here, or what has he got planned? That's such an early gas against this kind of build.
Yeah, and he... Oh, I was about to say he hadn't pulled out of it, but he did just there.
Okay, so just Zergling speed here.
Yeah. I think he's just a little bit fearful.
Well, he's definitely got to make sure he takes full control of the map here.
Yeah.
And also, if there is a fast third, that Zergling speed does come into help too. He can potentially land aggression with that as well. But it is just Zergling speed. And third base is down. And these Lings... They have some strict orders.
Yes, they do.
The last game.
Check every single nook and cranny you possibly can.
Yeah, and he's going to get a little bit lucky. Yeah, he gets the probe, so that's actually nice.
It was weird, actually, the route the probe actually took in the end. Didn't really hide himself anywhere, but he probably would have known that it was always, you know, every little position was going to be scouted. So.
And StarDust has even hidden his Stargate this time. So Miniraser, very much so in the dark, has no idea about that Stargate on the right-hand side, has no idea about the Oracle. So StarDust is masking his play, but his playing actually very standard, I would say, at this point.
Yeah. The Oracle will end up flying over the vision of an Overlord, so he'll get a little bit of heads up, but not a huge amount. So he can throw down Spore Crawlers eventually to be able to deal with that, but they're not going to be as... Well, I was about to say preemptive as last game, but even then they weren't that preemptive because of the information he was fed.
Completely standard game from StarDust by the looks of it, and he should even be aiming towards a third soon. The Oracle has been spotted, whether Miniraser saw that or not. I think he did because he just added another Spore Crawler. He had one already on the way, which was just in case. And to be honest, at this point, he'll drone up. Yeah, he's drone up to 10. So he saw the Oracle, he knows what's going on, and he's pieced the puzzle together now with the Overlord that gives him that extra vision on the natural.
I think he was just being extra cautious because he wondered if his opponent may be kind of selling the same idea to him with the gates at the front or something like that. But, I mean, it would have been very difficult to tell. The Oracle actually takes down the first queen. He's going to take out the second one as well with a little bit of micro. Oh, but he loses the Oracle.
So that was a brilliant move from StarDust, but a little bit unfortunate that he lost the Oracle there.
Yeah, could have saved that.
Because now he has no real way to pressure because these Lings will deal with the Zealot. Yeah, it's a good move.
And he spots a Void Ray pretty darn quick off the back of this as well, so he may be assuming that this is just a straight take to the third.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be careful. There is some weird aggression, but it should be a take to the third here with the Void Ray support.
Yeah, and he sees plenty of sentries at the front as well, which will be for the third base control. And there's the robot facility being added on, along with Mothership Core a little bit later, because he wasn't... actually, you know, early aggression could have worked wonders if he didn't have that.
Definitely not rushing things here and not playing greedy. Adding the Robo in so fast means he can get that Robotic Spade pretty fast too. Waiting to take the third for this long as well. Unfortunately, here he's going to have to cancel potentially. But is he going to? He should.
Those Lings should be able to do the job, yeah.
I mean, he did delay it kind of to get 5 sentries to not have to cancel there, but he unfortunately had to there through these Lings. But the overall story here, he's not playing greedy. He's actually playing this out quite cautiously.
Yeah.
But we do have this Hydra Den off the back of that layer. And Hydra timing, definitely big. But because that Robo was thrown in quite fast, the Robotic Space shouldn't be that far away. It's actually just been thrown in. So the window of opportunity for Miniraser is actually very small. I don't think it's that big at all. The first Colossus should be out by the time the Hydras get over there with the pressure that StarDust will put on a little bit.
Yeah, and because it's grooved spines instead of muscular augments, the Hydras have an even tougher time of actually getting over there.
Imagine if he lost his Mothership Core here to the Hydras.
That would be pretty bad.
Especially because there's a lot of Lings on the way here. He plays very carefully.
Yeah. Oh, actually traps in a few of those Hydralisks, but he needs to make sure also that he doesn't really
get out.
He's going to recall.
He has to.
But if he does, then he doesn't have energy for a Photon Overcharge.
That wasn't that good there. He achieved 0 because there was already units being built, and he lost 2 sentries there and energy off the Mothership Core. That movement out from StarDust was not good. He did not know he was facing a timing. Now he does. But he used crucial defensive abilities to find that information out. And as much as that timing I thought may not work out, now with no Photon Overcharge, with the sentries low in energy and a few losses, it's going to be harder to hold.
Yeah, very much so. That's a lot of firepower in these Hydralisks. They're now getting muscular augments, but
3 cannons on that third. He knows this could be difficult.
Yeah, very much so. Lings positioning themselves on the left-hand side whilst the Hydralisks do some work, but this is actually, this wall at the moment is buying time for that first Colossus to come out, so...
That is good for StarDust for sure.
And now he's going to actually assault the third. He knows that if he can take that, cripple the Protoss economy, he should be fine. He's actually, is he going to focus it down? No, he's focusing pylons there for a second.
StarDust has to go defend this, man.
Yeah.
He falls incredibly far behind if he loses this Nexus.
The Colossus is now on the way, but again, remember, it doesn't have thermal lance, so it's going to have the same range of these Hydralisks. He has to be very careful about how he controls it. Void Ray falls.
Lings are coming from behind, and a Hydra too.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's got to be very, very careful with this. He has a few more force fields left available to him. He so far hasn't lost the Nexus, but these Lings coming in, and with all the sentries actually popping during that, uh-oh. That Colossus is going to fall if he's not careful.
Well,
that
he's
force field.
good for now, yes. And another one. And he keeps the Colossus alive. Second one on its way. He needs more Zealots and whatever he can get in front of this army to protect these Colossus.
He sees...
If he loses that Colossus now...
Yeah, it's too far out, and he's forced to throw down another force field to try and deny. He's going to actually lose that one. There is another Colossus on the way, on the right-hand side.
Soon he can have Photon Overcharge to help. Soon.
God, he's taking such a beating during this, though.
The Mothership Core.
Oh, okay, no Photon Overcharge. Colossus, your time is nigh. You have to do something.
Uh-oh. Yeah, StarDust is hanging on by the skin of his teeth, but, well, not much longer.
Really good bit of pressure here from Miniraser, but StarDust was just not able to identify it. The Robo was a little bit later. He didn't have an observer there to see his opponent's tech or anything.
He walked into a timing. Like, he walked into an attack, gave a lot of free stuff away, and now he's paying the price.
Hydras and Lings just flooding on forwards. GG, Miniraser ties it up. And that's exactly what we're talking about when you can't count him out.
Wow, big win there for Miniraser, and I feel the ripple effect from Sweden coming over to Germany, because I'm pretty sure that's like it's a fist pump moment for him.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a fist pump moment. That's a big win. I mean, he prevents the 2-0. He now goes into a third game where he can put pressure now directly onto StarDust, who's just lost the game. And as we talked about, StarDust is the champion. He's the clear favorite to advance from today's group. But Miniraser stops him in his tracks there.
Yeah, so there is a good opportunity here for Miniraser to cause a massive upset in the first series of the entire season, which strangely happens quite often now that I think about it. So anything could happen here, really.
Yeah, big win there for Miniraser, and of course a big win for Fnatic. StarDust now needs to tighten up a little bit, and it really was, as mentioned, just the movement out from StarDust didn't work. If it was a different type of play, if it was heavy drone play, heavy economy play, he could pressure there, force field a little bit, get a queen or some drones, and then just recall out and get out. But he walked into Hydra and Lings that were being built before he even moved out. So he walked into it, and unfortunately there, a decision based off 0 information on the current game, he has to pay the price. Yeah,
could have been entirely different had that Mothership Core just been at home and had a Photon Overcharge. Even just one Photon Overcharge made a big difference.
I mean, this I feel, for a lot of people who try to play StarCraft 2 at home and try to copy from the best, and they're like, but I saw Naniwa in that one game, or I saw Rain in that one game move out with the Mothership Core 5 sentries at the very time that I do it, force field and get all this damage done, then recall out. It was a beautiful move. When I do it, though, I walk into that kind of attack. And, that sometimes happens to the professionals as well.
Yep, it does. Poor little StarDust there in game number 2. Now, we're going to be getting on to game 3 in just a second. We have a small break here, whilst I guess the players compose themselves, especially Miniraser. I mean, winning that first game, I'll be honest, I expected StarDust to get a 2-0 because he's our reigning champion. That's kind of what you expect from him.
He is, and with the with StarDust pretty much, well, he's 100% qualified for BlizzCon now. It's like 99.9% going to BlizzCon. So he's going to go there being ranked 3 in the world with MC and Xian above him. You know, his sole purpose this season is to defend his crown. There's no added pressure of, I need to win to go to, that's, you know, that's not even in consideration. It's just, I'm going to defend my title. I'm going to be the first player ever in the Europe Premier League to get it twice. So this is big potentially here.
Yeah. It is. And StarDust, again, he's the caliber of player that could do it. That's the thing. It's not like he could just say, well, BlizzCon's coming up. Nah, I don't want extra money from this. I'll just kind of chill out and practice for BlizzCon or something. Because, to be honest, until the very, very end of Season 3, you don't know who you're going to be playing in that first round at BlizzCon.
Right.
So,
and with the, you know, the Casper team's making a movement now, and everyone's getting a little bit worried about this. You've got Morrow coming to the open bracket in the InTouchStream Masters. You've got the Casper Cup shortly about to happen. There's going to be a lot of points on the line there too. Then you've got the Season 3 players that can perform well. So, you know, seeding does have an effect for sure. But it also could mean not as much as you'd wish for too. So it's better just to be like, I'm going to BlizzCon. I'll figure out who I'm playing against at another time. Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, our third map is going to be Catalina in just a second. Between these two guys. Again, I think Miniraser is trying to composing himself. He's only just joined the lobby now, so taking a little bit longer than before. What do you think about this map? And if you don't know, it's the newer three-player map. The lovely octopus. Yes, the octopus middle map. I like this map. You do? I do like this map. Too. I think there's some really good places for like Protoss to start walling off areas around their third and stuff. You can make nice little like tight fortifications and stuff. But at the same time, you know, I think, you know, nice and open for Zergs, kind of spreading the creep in down all the avenues. I think they can have some good mobility on this map. Yeah, absolutely. The massive wide open area and the potential flanks are very, you know, strong moves for Zerg to pull off. The one thing that I do dislike on this map is just the, in the bottom right-hand side, the airspace that you have if you spawn there, but you don't have if you're in the other two. I think if, you know, any of you guys played it at home too, that actually becomes a bit of a problem. For example here, what happens if that's where Miniraser spawns, and throughout the mid to late games is that's just consistently War Prism harass, and without anything there, air units or something, it can be difficult to deal with. But apart from that, I mean, I think the map's pretty decent, actually. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Lots of places to hide the probe, though, so that could be something Miniraser should be thinking about. And because it's not as old a map, it's very difficult to have all your scouting out right with Zerglings and spotting things. But anyway, let's get into game number 3. Tally-ho! As we have, spawning up to the north as our blue Zergy representing Fnatic, it's Miniraser. And over on the left-hand side, so no annoying positions down at the bottom right. As our red Protoss, it is My Insanity's StarDust. So one thing that we can talk about the way that both of these have positioned in terms of spawning at the early stages here. Where do you feel that StarDust is comfortable to take a third? He, I suppose, naturally would need to take it above him, right? But, you know, this is not that far away from Zerg. Exactly. And up there, there's a lot of rush areas there. And, oh my god, Miniraser, 9 pool. Whoa, 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 okay. Oh, I mean, I wasn't actually looking at his resources there, but the probe's moving out as well. And he's gonna get rushed straight away. I mean, not rushed, but scouted. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, disaster here. Even the Overlord just saw that probe, so he now, I mean, he already knows that it's gonna be spotted. That kind of sucks. Yeah, this is not so good here. StarDust is going to have to try and throw down a Forge immediately here upon going in to see this. And he's like, oh, god damn it. Like, yeah, and StarDust is like, well, well, well. And from this point, you just throw down a Forge and you build a cannon. And you make a wall off, and you're in a bit of trouble here. I wonder if he does a double bluff and builds drones. I think you may have. I mean, with the probe to drone counts right now, he's going to make 2 lings. Yeah, that's it. So he's kind of like, ah, damn it. Yeah. So he takes a bit of a hit when it comes to the income. If you think about the probe to drone balance right now between the two of them, it's like 15 to 10. Or 16 to 10, somewhere around that at this point of the game. And ultimately, that's quite unlucky. On a 3-player spawn map, your opponent sending out that scout first and just spotting you instantly. StarDust played greedy game 2. Went for the Nexus first, didn't scout. You know, that could have come into the decision-making for Miniraser here. The fact that it is a 3-player map. So I think a lot of Zerg players can warrant that strategy use here to go for this, or that build opening for Miniraser to go for it, but
yeah,
he got unlucky.
And I think he was actually trying to take gas there, just in case the probe wasn't coming back in, so he could have done another attempt at something. But because he saw the probe coming back in, he was forced to cancel it. So this is really unfortunate for Miniraser.
Yeah, this is not good for him at all. This is a bad start, but he does decide to take a gas anyway here.
Yeah, he took it on the alternate side.
Yeah, so this could potentially be maybe a Zergling Baneling attack or something along the lines here. Taking a gas this early, you're behind in drones. But then to dedicate 3 drones that should be trying to recover you in terms of your mineral income to throw them into gas is not as standard as standard can be.
It's a huge investment. A huge investment overall.
And 10 lings, yeah, so a slow Baneling bust here. 10 lings at the moment doesn't line up with trying to save and get Zergling speed here.
Takes too long.
Yeah, just 50 gas right into it. He hasn't even got a natural, right? So he's going to try this. It could work.
It could.
No follow-up scout yet from StarDust.
He needs to spot something out, that's for sure. But the probe is there at the front to continue that wall off at least.
So he's the problem is there's going to be a gap where the cyber core is, right?
Yeah.
So the Banelings can come behind, target down the pylon and cannon at the same time. Miniraser has to hide these links.
Yeah.
Like, it's just,
he didn't see them on top of the ramp.
no,
there's
he
just
won't
these
see them either, I don't think.
Oh,
well done for
close.
Miniraser.
Very close.
Well done, nice hiding.
Sees 2 more links moving out.
Yeah, so now I start to panic a little bit here.
Yeah. What is he going to do?
He's got to make a wall. He's like got to build a pylon. He's got to create a bigger wall.
He is moving the probe right down there. He realizes, oh, nice block.
So now he knows, well, now this is going to get bust too. Another cannon is going to be built. It's coming. It's going to happen here.
All right, there's the Banelings on the way. Zealot is actually at the front of the wall.
Whoa. He doesn't know.
He cancelled.
Well,
he went up there. He didn't see a natural either.
Well, he's just now gone up there. That pylon should have been there. He's going to have to rebuild it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he's like, oh, god damn it.
Oh, geez. That's actually... He has so many units. There's
only 2 Banelings.
There's nothing extra building. He gets through. That's a lot of Zerglings.
Pull the probes to save the pylon.
He needs to save that pylon right now. If he doesn't, those 2 cannons will not be powered, and he's going to lose a lot here. That one Baneling actually does so much damage to the probes as well. Oh my god.
Miniraser, is he about to beat StarDust?
Wow. Miniraser. He's got the pylon as well. He's trying to get the mothership core out as quickly as possible.
There's just probes against Zergling and Banelings. The mothership core, that's it.
Yeah, the mothership core has to do huge work.
It has to get rid of everything here.
More Zerglings just kind of walking over the map, doing what they want.
Surely, the mothership core cannot
2
save all of
Banelings.
this.
Oh, perfect.
7 supply. Miniraser.
Oh, Miniraser.
No probes. There's no probes. There's no probes.
Well, random things and crazy things can happen here at WCS Europe, and
the opening game of the season.
GG. Wow.
The opening game of the season. Miniraser beats StarDust 2-1 and finds herself in the winner's game. Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
First series done. And yeah, quite the upset. StarDust is now in the lower bracket. Now StarDust now has like 1 last attempt at actually getting through, and if the champion gets eliminated...
Miniraser's messed the group up just by this win. I mean, he hasn't advanced in first place, but that means that one of the next 3 players, including StarDust, is going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
If Snoot loses and must play StarDust, one of them's gone. Patience loses, must play StarDust, one of them gone. Top 3 favorites, one of them's going to get kicked out here. We could still see like 2 of those 3 favorites go through, of course, because Miniraser's not through yet, but he's going to kick out one of them straight away.
Yeah, what a crazy turn of events at the very beginning already. And that does it for our first series. Our next series is going to be Snoot versus Patience. So join us after the break in just a little bit here at WCS Europe when we find out who's moving on to the winners.